Gracias por acompañarnos en nuestra celebración del Mes de la Herencia Hispana. National Hispanic Heritage Month traditionally honors the cultures and contributions of both Hispanic and Latino Americans as we celebrate heritage rooted in all Latin American countries. During this month and throughout the year, we celebrate and share the history, heritage, and accomplishments of Hispanic and Latino Americans of past and present. My name is Sylvia Yacubian, and I am from Peru. I serve as a case manager in the Department of Housing and Human Services here in the city of Frederick. I work directly with our school-based health center, supporting students and their families in getting critical medical care. I am also the organizer of Frederick Salsa, a local dance group focused on spreading cultural awareness through music and dance. This year's National Hispanic Heritage Month theme is Latinos, Driving Prosperity, Power, and Progress in America. This theme encourages us to reflect on the contributions of the Hispanic and Latino communities on our culture through their leadership in all facets of American life. The city of Frederick continues year after year to be one of the fastest growing Hispanic populations in the nation. Members of the Hispanic community in Frederick came from the Caribbean islands, Central and South America, and Mexico. The top 5 countries of origin for Hispanics in Frederick are Mexico, El Salvador, Guatemala, Colombia, and Peru. The variety of cultures and cuisines are showcased every year at the annual Hispanic Heritage Festival along Carroll Creek. To learn more about the Hispanic and Latino communities in Frederick and to celebrate this month, we welcome a distinguished panel of speakers today. Our first panelist, Sandra Hofmeister, is the owner and CEO of A&S Construction, a top-rated roofing company located in Frederick. Sandra is also an active member of the Chamber of Commerce and serves on the city's DEI Advisory Board. Officer Abel Romero with the Frederick Police Department is a member of the Multicultural Liaison Unit, working to bridge the gap between police and residents in the Hispanic community. Stephanie Carrillo is a Frederick native, born to Chilean parents. She is the owner of El Post Social, providing social media management, content creation, and branding services to businesses. Damaris Ponciano Jackson is a first-generation Guatemalan immigrant and CEO of Metas STEM, an organization that provides STEM learning opportunities to nonprofit organizations, daycares, and after-school programs in English and Spanish. Our final panelist is Claudia Hernandez, Program Administrator of the Judy Center, which aims to improve school success through early intervention and comprehensive services to families in the Frederick County Public School System. She provides services to students at Butterfly Ridge, Hillcrest, Lincoln, Monocacy, and Waverly Elementary Schools. So welcome everybody to our Hispanic Heritage Month panel discussion. Let's go ahead and just jump into the questions. Start off telling us a little bit about your experience as a Hispanic community member in Frederick. What does it mean to you to be part of this community?
Well, I guess I can start. For me, being part of Frederick, it's awesome. It's a city that welcomes people from all walks of life. In Frederick, my family and I have been able to find a church that we can call home, where we can strengthen our faith and serve the community in different levels. We've been able to become acquaintance and make friends with different people in the city, enjoy the different resources, the park, the library, the Earth and Science Lab, and also we have been able to create different opportunities for the community to get engaged and learn about, in my case, mostly STEM and business, but also we have collaborated with other groups to form different opportunities for everyone.
That sounds wonderful. It sounds like you've made a home of Frederick and you
That's
feel
right.
welcome and you're welcoming others.
Yes.
How about you, Claudia?
For me, I think being part of the Hispanic community in Frederick has been really a joy for me, just because it reminds me so much of my own upbringing, of my own experiences as a child, and I can lend my expertise, my experiences to the families that I work with day in and day out, and really be an example for them, be an example of what the American dream looks like when they get here. So it gives them hope and it gives them strive and motivation. And it really, again, for me, is such a joy because I strive to just be an advocate for them and just be part of the team. So it's a joy because, again, for me, it's a personal thing and then it's a professional thing. It hits both places for me.
And I've had the pleasure of working with you.
Yes.
You're not just a friend, but you're also a colleague,
Yes.
and you're a great example for the community.
Thank
so
you.
thank you.
Thank you.
So how about you?
I am very proud to call myself a first-generation American, but as well as a true Frederictonian, born and raised in the city of Frederick. And some may think that being a part of the Hispanic community here might be like a cool club, but for me, it's so much more than that. It's just an abundant feeling of culture and music, which you would know, and also a lot of spice. So I think that's the greatest thing that I can take with me is the fact that I can have my own cultural individuality within this group of Hispanics here in Frederick.
I love your answer because there are a lot of young people that have been born here,
Yeah.
whether it's just in Frederick or somewhere else. They're first generation Americans with parents who are Latinos. And it's so great that you identify as Latino roots and as a Latino.
Yep.
So that's wonderful. You're maintaining that individuality, like you said, and that's great. A lot of young people can do the same. How about you?
Frederick is what I call a small town with a big city flavor. And it's not the same as it was before when I moved in 2010. It has changed and it has evolved in a good way. Now I feel that Frederick is more inclusive, especially for people like myself that I wasn't born here. I'm a mix. I'm from Peru. My father was from Spain, so I have kind of like two cultures mixed in one. And because we are actually 20 countries who speak Spanish, which is crazy, it's awesome to find a lot of this melting pot, you know, in this community. And I feel that they are embracing us, and it gets better. Of course, there is a lot of work to do with policies and whatnot, but we are getting there, and I'm proud to be here. And my contribution with the community is being part of several committees and boards, like the Business Equity Coalition with the Chamber of Commerce. I'm part of the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Advisory Panel here with the city. And the list goes on, but I don't want to take your time. But that's how I feel that Frederick is my home now, and I feel welcome.
I love that. Frederick is your home. I feel like it's my home too, and that's wonderful. How about you, Abel?
Well, for starters, I'm new, period. So
How new are you?
So I moved to Maryland about 4 years ago. So I'm normally from New York City. So the area where I was born and raised is a big melting pot. There's several different Hispanic communities and in different parts of the city. So coming from a big city, coming down to a smaller city, it was, everything was a big, like, it was different. So starting a career here at the police department at Frederick and starting to get to know specific areas of the Hispanic community, it made me see how a lot of people are closer together and people actually know who's who. People know their neighbor. New York City, people don't really know who you are unless you're like next door neighbors, you know? So I'm still myself going out to businesses, and whenever I get on free time, I go and just introduce myself. I get to know people, the Hispanics down like on the west side. Just what they do. I introduce myself, and I'm still getting to know everybody little by little. But I mean, everything is new. I'm new to the multicultural liaison unit, so I guess I'll be meeting everybody shortly. So.
Well, welcome to Frederick, and serving as a liaison with the police department. That is a great service to our community, so thank you for that. Okay, so moving on to question number 2. This year's National Hispanic Heritage Month theme is Latinos, driving prosperity, power, and progress in America. How does this theme resonate with you and your respective groups? We'll start off with you.
Okay. That resonates with me because I work in the building industry. I work in the construction industry. So I can say that we are the force behind the wheel. So I'm gonna read, I have a little statistics here in my paper. The Hispanics and Latin Americans, we are, like I said, we are the force behind the wheel. We are about 30% of the workforce in the building industry, according to the Bureau of Labor in 2020. And we are about 62 million of people, according to the census of 2020, and we are growing. We bring our culture, our rich culture and history, and we are contributing to enhance our communities across the country. So chances are that your house was built by somebody like us, and your HVAC guy, your plumber, your roofer, your siding guy is somebody who looks like us. So this is huge. This is huge. So that's why we should celebrate and be proud of the empowering of the Hispanic culture.
Thank you. Damaris?
Yes, I resonate with what you say because I was also writing some statistics down, and 19% of the workforce, like you said, in any field is Hispanic. And the 62 million people, that says something. And coming more from the research, science, medicine background, you can go into any field and find Hispanics. I can name Dr. Casiano. He used to be the president of the hospital here. I can name Franklin Chang Diaz, one of the first astronauts to go into space. I could name people over and over and over again, but from big names to the people that clean the schools, the hospitals, the restaurants, we are all behind there. And I don't think there's any field where we could go into that we don't see Hispanics not only working, but also leading.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I want to cheer for that. Like, yes, those are statistics. Like, I really do. I think for me, just what they said, I think we have a reputation of being people that are hardworking. And we strive to be the best at any and everything that we do. And I feel like the theme this year with Latinos driving prosperity, power, and progressing in America just drills in what we already know because we live it and we see it every day. But it's also, I think, an opportunity for people that are not necessarily in our community or not necessarily very familiar with Latinos to really take that opportunity to become familiar, to get to know, to venture out, to explore what we're about, because we are so much more and we are contributors to America. We really are the ones that want to be here, and we love this country, and we just want to make it better for us and for our kids. That's it.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to add to that?
I'll add something to that. I think that our people, it's not a surprise that we're a big part of the backbone that is the labor workforce in this country, because it can be from harvesting farmland all the way to owning your own business. You never know where you're gonna find Latinos, but you know that we're gonna be hardworking, we're gonna be happy to be here, and we are looking to make this country and build this country on a solid foundation of our values and culture, and just adding to what's already here. So I think that's what's truly beautiful about it.
Excellent. Okay, as Hispanic leaders in our city, which we all are, what do you want other residents to know about your lived experience in Frederick? Abel, as our newcomer to Frederick?
So pretty much coming here was was a big shock, as slow pace from coming from a big city, and it was really, I guess, homey. So people were nicer. They would greet you. Like, it was just weird to me, but I mean, this was a great experience, and I'm glad to say that I have my career here now, and I'm planning roots down here in the city. So it's just gonna, I guess, flourish from there.
Excellent. Ito?
Before I moved to Frederick, because I moved to Frederick in 2010, I was living in Florida for several years. So it was a choker. It was a big difference because in Florida, we are majority. Here, I felt it like when I just moved like a minority, because my family is mixed. I could feel it. I could feel that I wasn't fully accepted. But now, 13 years later, I feel like it's home. Like I said before, it's just a phenomenal place. I would not move anywhere else. I mean, it's a great place to raise your family, open your business. I mean, I've been doing this for 13 years as a business owner. This is my year number 3, and I can ask for a better, place to grow and customers and make friends and help the community and volunteer, and it's awesome. I guess that makes you a leader in the city. When you lead with the example and you serve others and you do your best and you don't let anybody to tell you not to, that's what it means to be a Hispanic leader.
Excellent.
As I mentioned earlier, I was born and raised here, but I think the most unique part of my story is that my family members were among the first immigrants that were Hispanic to come to Frederick and call it their home. And so it's not just the place where I grew up, it's the place where I look at Baker Park and I remember memories, and I go to the fair every year, things like that. And it's just a remembrance of those that are still with me and those that are gone. But it's a place that I definitely hold near and dear to my heart because of that. And it's not only because I was born here, but because my family grew here and the culture was brought here. And so that's why I feel so strongly about it.
And your family is
From Chile.
From Chile,
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
How many years ago was that they moved here?
In '89 was when they moved here. So, long time ago.
They have me beat. I moved here to Frederick County in 97.
Gotcha.
Yes, 97. How about you?
Like some of the other stories, I am not from Frederick either. My family's from El Salvador, but migrated to the DC area. So city, bigger, diversity galore, melting pot of everything. And so in the early 2000s, my family moved to Thormont. And that was a little bit of a culture shock because I say this story all the time, instead of opening the windows and seeing people and seeing buildings, I opened the window there and we saw cows and fields and chickens. And so for my mom, she loved it because she felt like she was in El Salvador. And but it was a little bit of a shock. And then as I got older and then moved into the city, you start seeing the melting pot that I recognized early on in the city before. And now making this, being part of the community and working and shopping and living in a predominantly Latino area, I just love it. I mean, it's where I choose to raise my kids. It's where I want them to learn, grow, and still be connected to their roots.
Yes.
And that's the joy of where we are now here in Frederick and the direction that it's going in. So it's beautiful. Yeah.
I think something that I would like to say is that I want to encourage other people that have business ideas or an idea to start a program to help others. If they look around, they'll find resources. They'll find someone that's willing to support their ideas, support their business ideas, and help them make them a reality. Sometimes you may have to jump hurdles and have patience and perseverance, but with God's help and with time, you will become successful in Frederick because it's a growing city, it's expanding, it's growing, and it's becoming, I think, in that sense, a small melting pot like New York. So.
Yes. Okay. Each September during Hispanic Heritage Month, we celebrate the history, culture, and contributions of Hispanic and Latinx Americans in our country. What would you say is a meaningful way to recognize this month? How can residents join in this celebration? Abel?
Pretty much when I say it will go down to the food, the music, it's just sharing that experience with, I guess, if you have a neighbor who is Latino, then just, I guess, see what's going on. You can start having that type of relationship, not only with, with just anybody, have a random conversation. And it's myself, like, I met a lot of people that I wouldn't meet here. And it's just, I've learned from them. I've different dialect. And everybody has certain ways of doing certain things. So, I mean, even myself, I learn from others. So that's one thing that I say people should do and how they should celebrate.
Excellent.
Yes, every year Americans observe the Hispanic Heritage Month. And I think that this is an opportunity to celebrate us, our achievements, our contributions to the culture. Because like you said, very well said, it's not just the people who is the trades, there is the people who has, how many of us are business owners and how many of us lead a community. And that's what it means. A good idea for me will be showcase these Hispanic businesses all over, not just the city, but the county, and promote them, all the community to, buy from them and embrace them and help them to grow. That's something that we should encourage and we should do. And that's going to make our city more inclusive.
Thank you.
I think that the best way that we can honestly recognize the month and observe it is by immersing ourselves authentically into whatever we are going to be doing. I would say for those at home, if you like playing Top Chef in the kitchen, I would suggest making a Latin dish. But if you fill up on some knowledge and see the accolades that have been given to Latinos like Pablo Neruda, who won the Nobel Prize for Literature. And so honestly, it's just learning and sharing. That's the best thing you can do. That's what I think.
See, here, I was just going to go off the cuff and be like, have you followed Frederick's salsa? Like, yeah. We're going to go dancing. No, I think that it's twofold for me. I think that for me personally, it is an opportunity for me to continue to talk to my children about all the beauty of being Latinos, so we're passing that down, so we're not forgetting our roots. And I think that we then celebrate the people that have been monumental and a contributor to this society. So recognizing all the people in their professions and how they've made history in America, I think that's a beautiful thing to be able to do. I also think that it's also an opportunity for us as Latinos to learn from each other, like we've said, because even though we're the same, we're so very unique. So very different. There's things where, yes, we speak all the same language, we all speak Spanish, but the food is different, the music's different, the clothing's different, the way we dress is different, and that's so beautiful. I love that, and this is where I feel like Hispanic Heritage Month is where we can celebrate that. So that's the opportunity for me.
Great.
And I think for me, it's important to celebrate it with our families, with our children, tell them stories, from our countries, from our families. But I would love to see it at a higher level. The city has created great ways for us to communicate with them through their websites and social media. And I would love to see Frederick City officials acknowledge the workers, from the janitors to the ones that are involved in government, featured in their social media, and say, hey, this is the workforce behind them, and maybe share a little bit about them, their background, their family, their culture. I would love to see schools get involved in creating Hispanic-inspired art, maybe posters, maybe presentations, maybe have like a small parade, with the children. Even if the children don't have their own outfits, they can easily create some with paper bags and decorate them, but feature it so that everyone gets to learn, not only from us, but if you do that for other cultures, we'll all get to learn from other people as well.
I love that answer. I think, like you said, we're all so unique, our different backgrounds, and we're from different countries, so we do have our uniqueness. And at the same time, we're so similar. We have the same values as everyone else here in Frederick, whether they're Hispanic, Latinos, or not. We're hard workers. Mm-hmm. We love our families. We love our community. We want the best for our children, our families. And so I think it's very important to recognize how unique we are and how much we are like everybody else as well. And I love that we're celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month with our families and also with our neighbors, maybe people who aren't so exposed to our cultures, and teaching them a little bit about ourselves. And we're not that different from you. Yes, we're unique, but we're very much the same. And we welcome you, and please welcome us. And talking about parades, we have wonderful celebrations throughout the city of Frederick for Hispanic Heritage Month. And I love living here in Frederick and having the privilege of working among you and being friends with you as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Que vivan los latinos.
Yay!